My name is Lisa Hong and this is my science fair project. All pictures, graphs, charts are created and taken by me, Lisa Hong. Insulation is able to either reduce the heat loss or gain more heat. Spray foam insulation is able to insulate as well as air seal. Fiberglass is made out of extremely small fiberglasses and is able to trap pockets of air, slow down the spread of hot and cold air as well as sound. Cellulose is made of recycled paper and is more energy efficient. It's important to have insulation because it can make your home not too hot or too cold during summer and winter. I wanted to do this project because home insulation is really important, so this experiment can help us find out what the best and most effective is for a home. The question is, which material is best for home insulation based on how long it takes for the ice cubes to melt? My hypothesis is that if being able to fit into small spaces and trap airflow is important for home insulations, then cellulose should be the best option. The materials used were fiberglass, cellulose, foam, ice, party cups, foam cups, plastic wrap, gloves, and an old newspaper. The independent variables included the three types of insulations. The dependent was how long it took for the ice to melt. Some of the controlled include the cups, the plastic wrap, and the ice. The first step that I did was gathering all of my materials and putting on gloves and a newspaper onto my work surface. I then placed about 1.5 inches of fiberglass into a 20-ounce cup, and then I put a smaller cup inside of that cup in order to create a wall. I repeated this step 2 more times. I did the same thing for cellulose and foam. With the foam, I had to scrape off a lot of excess foam because it kept rising. After I had 9 cups and 3 of each, I placed 3 ice cubes into one of each type. I then placed plastic wrap on top of them to seal. After doing that, I used a stopwatch to time how long it took for the ice cubes to melt. I recorded my data and repeated the same steps for trials 2 and 3. Once I finished my experiment, I disposed all of my materials properly. These are some photos that I took. For fiberglass, the average was 326.33 minutes. The average for foam was 273.66 minutes. Cellulose took 303.33 minutes. These are graphs that I created for the 3 trials. The first graph includes the minutes taken for the ice to melt in every trial, while the second one only includes the averages. While doing the experiments, there was a few errors, but overall, everything went pretty smoothly. During the first hour, I noticed that the ice wasn't really melting. During the second hour, I noticed some changes, but not a big difference. In the first trial, I noticed that the cellulose cup was melting faster than the others, but however, in the second and third trial, the foam cup started melting faster. In the first 2 trials, the fiberglass cup lasted the longest, but not in the last trial. By the 4th and 5th hour, about 75% of the ice was melted or almost melted. After looking at my results, I saw that my numbers weren't really consistent for some of them. For instance, there was a 86-minute difference between the first and third trial of cellulose. The results for fiberglass and foam was kind of consistent. One of the problems I ran into while doing the experiment was that the foam insulation kept expanding as it dried, causing the inside cup to close up. It left a little bit of room for me to put the ice cubes in, and it might have influenced the results. To correct this in the future, if I ever do this experiment again, I will make sure to place a thinner amount of foam in the interior of the larger cup. I would also make sure that each cup has the same amount of material in it, and this would make the results accurate. After looking at my results, I found out that my hypothesis was proven wrong. I predicted that cellulose insulation would be the best home insulation, but fiberglass turned out to be the best. After completing this experiment, a question I still have is, would the results still stay the same if I did the experiment in another area with different temperatures? Thank you for watching my project about the home insulations.